Hey everyone, Jennifer here from Pampered Chef, and I am coming to you tonight, Sunday night, and just going to show you quickly what I've decided to make for supper. It's a steak and cauliflower skillet is what they call it, and I'm using some of our new spice that I would have received in my Taste Bud subscription this month. So it's crushed peppercorn and garlic. It's not new, but anyway, it's the one that they sent, one of the ones that they sent. And it comes with a recipe for steak and cauliflower skillet. Comes with three different spices and 3 different recipes, plus some other add-ins that you can, if you don't like the recipe, like this one calls for mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you can add other things. If you want to make it vegetarian, you could put beans in it instead of the meat. So I'm just going to do a few things here. It calls for about 1 pound of sirloin steak. And actually what I did today was I bought a nice sirloin roast. A sirloin roast that they had a bit of a sale on at the grocery store. And you just put a tablespoon of the spice, the rub in there, mix it around, and then we're going to put it in our 12-inch cast iron frying pan and let that sit for 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm going to go over here. Turn you around. You can see that I have my cast iron skillet. It's been heating up with a tablespoon of oil in it. So I'm just going to let that sit for about 3 to 4 minutes, what it says in the recipe, and then we'll come back and do a few more things. Oh, missed one of my pieces of egg. Great. I'm just going to let that cook for a couple of minutes and I'll be back. Hey, I'm back. So the next step, I removed the steak from the pan. We're to add 8 ounces of mushrooms. I added another tablespoon of oil to my pan. 8 ounces of mushrooms. Now I'm not a real big mushroom fan, so I didn't add the full container of mushrooms. But I wanted to show you too our little Egg Slicer Plus. We've had this in our product line for quite a few years. They're great for mushrooms, obviously. For eggs, obviously, when you're doing up potato salad and you want to put those eggs on the top. And strawberries, I've used them for strawberries, and I think in years past I've even done kiwi. So yeah, so what I do with my mushrooms, I just wipe them off with a paper towel. And you know, when I was young and first started out, I used to wash them. I didn't know any better. And then we just put it in our Egg Slicer Plus, do that, whoops, and throw them all over the table, on the stove. I can't even talk right. So yeah, so we're going to do that for about 5 to 6 minutes. Let these cook and let the oil and all the bits of the steak that are in there, we're going to let that all cook together. It's starting to smell really good in here. And I know the dog's going a little snaky. He hasn't eaten his own food today, but he'll eat this if we give it to him. So yeah, so we're just going to let these cook for another 5 minutes. And then we're going to add some beef broth and cauliflower, and yeah, and it's going to be good. So we'll talk to you again soon, just a few minutes. So now they call for half a cup of beef broth. Add that in there. And they also call for a medium head of cauliflower, or 4 to 6 cups, and just cut up into the florets. And then 2 teaspoons of your peppercorn seasoning that we had just used in the beef. And they say that we're going to let that cook down for about 10 to 12 minutes until all the broth has evaporated. So I'm sure that's going to be smelling good here very soon. The mushrooms have cooked with the steak juices, and the bits of the steak have adhered to the mushrooms, if you will. Anyway, so we're just going to give that a little stir and let that cook for another 10 minutes, and then we'll be back. So now for the final procedure, if you will. I've got my cauliflower and my mushrooms all cooked together, looking good. I'm adding back my steak and a little bit of juice that's still in there, and I've already tested the steak and Southern Griffin, and it's really, really good. So we're going to mix that all up together. And now we're going to add some spinach. It calls for 10 ounces of spinach. I don't have 10 ounces here, but it just calls for spinach. And you're adding it in and letting it cook down a little bit till it gets a little wilty. And then you add a bit more. So we're just going to do that. I love my cast iron skillet. This is the 12-inch one. And it's great for doing steaks. You can do, I'm just trying to think what you can do in it, what I've done in it. You can make shepherd's pie in this, cook everything right in it, and then put it right in the oven. All kinds of different things. So this is the 12-inch one. We have the 10-inch one, and then we also have little 5.5-inch baby ones that are great for making desserts. Their very own personalized cookies. We took them camping with us last summer and used them on the outdoor stove, and they work great. So the spinach is starting to cook down. Just going to keep adding a little bit more. And like I said, you can make this recipe to be vegetarian. You could add beans to it. You don't have to have the meat. I suppose you could even do this with chicken if you didn't like steak. But the peppercorn seasoning, it's crushed peppercorn and garlic, and it pairs really well with beef. And like I said, the Taste Bud subscription comes with 3 packages of rubs. This month it was a garlic theme, so there was lemon garlic and the garlic, and then comes with the 3 recipes and also ideas on other things that you can make with those rubs, not just the recipes that they've sent you. So anyway, this is going to be delectable. I've made some rice to go with it. You can also do a roasted potato if you will, maybe even some pasta, maybe just like a pasta noodle. And we're going to eat this, and I know that this is going to be one that I can put on the rotation again, because it's so simple and so yummy. And yeah, we'll let you know how they liked it. Have a good night.